Hey guys, and welcome back to the Spruce and Linen channel. I'm Janelle, and today I'm bringing you another highly requested technique, and that is weaving a flower with wool roving. So let's get started. This video is brought to you by the Spruce and Linen shop, where you can find weaving kits, tools, materials, and supplies. Link in the description box below. Okay, so I'm just going to be showing you this on a plain warp, just so it's really clear how to do this. Basically, the full concept of this technique is just using Rye Loops in a strategic way to create a floral shape. So I'm starting out with a thinner piece of roving, and you can do that just by splitting off a thin piece from your full width of roving. The first thing I'm going to do is just tie a knot on one end, just so that we have something to start our Rye loop and everything is nice and secure. Now, if you need a detailed refresher on Rye Loops, check out our Rye Loops tutorial. I will link it above. All right, so then we're just going to start, I'm gonna start on the next one. We're just gonna start creating some Rye Loops with this thinner piece of roving, and I'm gonna keep these nice and short, and this is going to become the center of our flower. So obviously you can kind of decide how big you want your flower to be. I'm just going to do a small one since I'm working with kind of a small warp here. But this is literally just the same concept of Rye Loops. Sometimes you might have to be careful how hard you're pulling on the roving since it can split. But if you're using merino, it's usually hard to rip really close, so it'll be fine. And I'm just kind of adjusting my loops so that they're nice and short and just all bundled together like so. Now we're going to go in with the second color of roving. So once again, I am just starting out with a knot just to have that really nice and secure. Try to pull it as tight as you can without ripping your roving, just so that it's not too bulky. This is the part where everything is going to get really bulky and crazy, and it looks a little bit crazy until we do some structural stitch around it. So once again, I'm just using a Rye loop to create the petals, and this is one of those stitches that does take a little bit of practice with the roving and just to kind of shape it, and you can take as much time as you need to just play around with it and kind of just manipulate it how you want it to go. I know some of these more free-form stitches can be a little tricky to learn, but just keep giving it a try and you will get it. So again, it looks a little crazy right now. Everything's just kind of sitting where it wishes to, and I'm just going to keep going around our flower center with these Rye loops to create our petals. Oh, and I can see I did one of my loops kind of in a spot where I'm not happy with it, so I'm just going to undo that and fix it. And again, this is the whole learning process. Don't be afraid to undo it if it's kind of looking wonky or you're not liking it. Undo it and just try again. Now I have all my petals done, and I'm just trying to make sure everything is nice and tight. Again, it's a little bit trickier because we're using roving, so it's quite bulky, as you can see. And yeah, it looks a little bit crazy right now. And I'm just gonna do some structural stitching around it just so you can see how it would sit in an actual weaving. So here is my finished flower, and you can see that structure, I just used plain weave. You can use all different kinds of stitches around this, but I just wanted to show you how providing your flower that structure holds it all together nicely, because when we first had those loops, you know, it wants to kind of just sit flailing out a little bit, and this just kind of tightens everything up, and you can move and adjust your roving to make it look however you want it to look. And I think this is a really beautiful thing to incorporate into your weaving, and I can't wait to see you guys try it on your own. And that is weaving a flower using that Rye loop technique and wool roving. If you guys use this tutorial, please tag me on Instagram, and you can use hashtag SL Weaving Club on Instagram as well. And if you need a little bit of a refresher on that Rye loop tutorial, again, we do have that. I'll link it in the description box below. If you like this video, please hit that like button, subscribe, and click the bell to get notifications when I post new videos. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Some days I can speak well. The next day, I don't do words good. So that is weaving a flower with wool. That is, oh, I'm having a rough time speaking.